December 8th, 1984. Redondo Beach, California. The party was loud, the drinks were flowing, and Mötley Crüe was at the top of the world. But in a split second, the screech of tires and the crunch of metal changed rock history forever. Vince Neil, the golden boy of glam metal, walked away from the wreckage. His friend Nicholas Dingley, better known as Razzle, did not. This isn't just a story about a car crash. It's a story of survivors' guilt, a broken legal system, and the tragic end of a band that was destined for greatness. Today, we go deep into the night. The party ended in blood. By 1984, Mötley Crüe wasn't just a band. They were a hazard. They had just released Shout at the Devil and were the undisputed kings of the Sunset Strip. Their life was a blur of heroin, whiskey, and adrenaline. As documented in their biography, The Dirt, the band lived by a code of total excess. Vince Neil was the charismatic frontman, the face of a generation that refused to grow up. They felt invincible. They felt like gods. But even gods aren't immune to the laws of physics and the effects of a 0.17 blood alcohol level. While the Crüe was conquering America, a band from Finland called Hanoi Rocks was poised to be the next global phenomenon. They were the bridge between punk and glam, and they were finally on their first major US tour. At the heart of the band was their drummer, Nicholas Dingley, better known as Razzle. He was the soul of the group, funny, talented, and loved by everyone who met him. That night in December, Hanoi Rocks and Mötley Crüe were partying together at Vince's house. It was supposed to be a celebration of their friendship. Instead, it became a funeral for their future. Hanoi Rocks would never recover. The band that influenced everyone from Guns N' Roses to Poison was silenced before they could reach their peak. The party had run out of beer. Vince Neil, already heavily intoxicated, decided to take his 1972 De Tomaso Pantera for a run to the local liquor store. Razzle jumped into the passenger seat. On a winding road in Redondo Beach, Vince lost control. He swerved into oncoming traffic, smashing head-on into a Volkswagen. The impact was devastating. 2 people in the other car suffered permanent brain damage. Vince survived with minor injuries, but Razzle was pronounced dead at the hospital. In an instant, a brother was gone, and the rock world was forced to face a grim reality. But Razzle wasn't the only life shattered that night. In the other car were Lisa Hogan and Daniel Aquilera. They weren't rock stars, were just people driving home. The impact left Lisa in a coma for weeks, and Daniel with permanent brain damage. While the media focused on the blonde singer from Mötley Crüe, 2 families were dealing with a life sentence of medical bills and trauma. This is the part of the story usually hidden behind the glamour of the Sunset Strip. The rock world was in shock, but for Hanoi Rocks, the world simply stopped. Michael Monroe, the band's frontman, recalls the devastating moment he had to identify his friend's body. The band tried to continue with a new drummer, but the soul was gone. They broke up just months later. To this day, Monroe remains bitter, stating that Vince Neil never truly apologized to the band. For Michael, Mötley Crüe's success was built on the ashes of his own dream. While Hanoi Rocks was falling apart, Vince Neil stood before a judge to face the consequences. He was charged with vehicular manslaughter and driving under the influence. Given the death of Razzle and the permanent brain damage inflicted on the other victims, the public expected a severe prison sentence. But what happened next caused an outrage that still exists today. The judge sentenced Vince to just 30 days in jail, and he only served 15 days due to good behavior. He was ordered to pay $2.6 million in restitution to the victims. To many, it looked like checkbook justice. If you are rich enough, you can buy your way out of anything. Vince walked out of jail a free man, ready to rejoin Mötley Crüe and conquer the world. But while he escaped the legal system, he couldn't escape fate. 10 years later, tragedy would return to his life, but this time, he wouldn't be the one behind the wheel. Years later, many fans believed a curse was following Vince Neil. In 1995, tragedy struck again, and this time, it was even more personal. Vince's 4-year-old daughter, Skylar, was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. After a brutal battle, she passed away in August of that year. Vince was a man who had everything: fame, money, and power, but he was forced to watch his daughter slip away, unable to do anything. This loss broke him in a way the accident never did. He eventually founded the Skylar Neil Foundation, turning his deepest pain into a mission to help other children. Vince Neil's life is a cautionary tale. He survived a crash that killed his friend, he survived the death of his daughter, and he survived the wildest decade in music history. But the question remains, can a person ever truly move on from such a heavy past? Some see him as a survivor, others as a man who escaped justice. One thing is certain, the ghost of Razzle and the memory of Skylar are woven into every song he sings. Rock and roll isn't just about the parties. Sometimes it's about the scars we carry.